Hey guys, welcome back, welcome home, welcome aboard, wherever you happen to be in relation to these messages this week, this channel, this energy, all the good things. This is what's up for the week of the 26th of September through the 2nd of October 2022. This week, y'all, let's just dive in, shall we? So we start this week off on Monday. It's a crazy week. Venus in Virgo trines Pluto, retrograding in Capricorn. Mercury retrograding in Virgo conjuncts Venus, and the Libra Sun opposes Jupiter. The Libra Moon opposes Chiron. All of this before 2:30 in the morning. Okay, so big energy overnight, rolling into the day. And in the evening, we have the Libra Moon quincunxing Uranus, trining Mars and Saturn. Okay, so this week you are going to wake up with love, money, relationships on your mind. How apropos, right? Because our Sunday evening right before this was the Libra new moon, 2 degrees Libra, right? So a very early Libra new moon, creating this relationship energy, right? Creating this love energy, creating this how we exist in the worlds of the other, right? So ask yourself, how are you speaking about your deepest needs, right? What is holding you back, right? What is keeping you separate from your heart's desires? What is that? What 3D experience or sense of home, right? This strong Venus presence is really indicative of what feels like home to you, right? Venus being that sensual experience, right? What you see, what you taste, what you smell, what you feel, right? What you intake with your senses. So that sense of home at your deepest, right? Trining Pluto at your deepest and most innermost levels. Most innermost levels? How about we just say at your innermost levels? Is so plain, so apparent, right? Are you grounded in your why, right? Or are you standing somewhere else, like kind of hovering, right, in pretext? And if you are, what is that pretense, right? So if you have the courage to connect, hello, friend, you might be surprised, right? You might be surprised if you have the courage to connect with that depth of experience, with that depth of your heart's desire. If you have the courage to connect there, you may be surprised. You may be surprised. Tuesday, the 27th of September. Happy birthday to me. We have a kind of a grand air trine. The moon, Mars, and Saturn, right? So here's the deal. We have a Libra moon quincunxing, retrograding Neptune. We have retrograding Mercury, trining Pluto. We have the Libra moon squaring Pluto. And then later in the evening, the moon moves into Scorpio. So here's the deal. This is a tap the brakes day, right? Just tap the brakes. Assess things. Check, triple check. Remember, this is retrograde season. Even though Mars is direct in these equations, nobody else but Venus wants to come along and play, right? And Venus is busy. She's busy doing other things. She's got a lot of Pluto involvement this week. She's just a busy girl. And so Mars is kind of like, hey, let's do some things. But he doesn't have a lot of support. So, right. This is a week where we feel like the way is clear, but it's really not. And on Tuesday, here's what I would like to say to you. Seeking is not a way of life, right? Openness is a way of life. Seeking isn't a way of life, but being open, right? Being mobile, being available to pivot in light of any new discoveries, right? Or as deeply as you can, right? By your ability to witness a major shift in your own experience and reality. That is being open. Being lost in the concept of constant seeking is going to keep you in a frantic, panicky state where openness keeps you in stillness. It keeps you in calm, grounded energy, right? So try that on. Tap the brakes. Tap the brakes. Be in your assessment, right, from that place of openness. On Wednesday, Scorpio moon, right? So we know we got this great Scorpio moon now asking us to dive deeply. So we've got that Scorpio moon quincunxing Jupiter. Then we have Mars in Gemini trining Saturn in Aquarius. Of course, all these biggies are retrograding. And then we've got the moon quincunxing Chiron. Well, hello, friends. So here's the deal. Keep tapping the brakes, right? Keep tapping the brakes. That Jupiter involvement, right? Quincunxing the moon. Plus, we've got a semi-square to Uranus, an opposition to the sun, to Venus. All really asking you to be clear, to be in your wisdom of the you-ness of you, right? This is important. This is an important thing. The homeness of home, right? You know, referencing back to that really strong Venus energy that we're witnessing, asking you to be in it, right? Your heart's desire is always going to invite you closer toward home. And in this retrograde season, right, that Scorpio moon is going to add depth, right? It's going to kind of give you a scuba mask where you might have felt like you were just trying to dive before. It's going to really give you that scuba capability. So it's a great time to be exploring and spelunking in terms of how you can get some crystal clear visions, right, on the whys, on those visions, on the objects of your desires. And then that Mars, ooh, hello, beautiful. That Mars trining Saturn really allows us to be able to formulate an awareness of, right? Mars is in Gemini, Saturn is in Aquarius. These are air signs. Formulating an awareness of how we are able to manifest our values, right? How we are able to manifest that sense of home and pull it into our 3D reality. On Thursday, the 29th, Venus moves into Libra, and the Scorpio moon opposes Uranus, squares Saturn, quincunxes Mars, all very, very early in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we have a trine to Neptune, a sextile to Mercury and to Pluto before the moon scoots into Saturn, wow, Sagittarius, at the very end of that day. So this is a really interesting energetic day, right? So we have a T-square, the moon, Uranus, and Saturn, asking us, what are you willing to allow to change, right? And how is that in alignment with your values? What are you willing to allow to change, right? Remember, Saturn, the only thing Saturn can use against you is what you left out in the yard. So be willing to clean up, right? Be willing to clean up. That's what we're looking to do. And then we've got Venus and the moon opposing Uranus. Relationships, right? So you might have kind of a what the fuck moment, right? That brings you to a shift or a change, a fork in the road, right? Venus, the moon, Uranus. How am I feeling about my 3D experience? And what have I really actually done here, right? This is that what the fuck moment that brings you to that place of raw awareness. On one side is those pretenses, right? Habits, things that we have chosen that we might have outgrown, things that we chose that might no longer be in service, things that we chose that might not be bringing us that feeling of home. So on the other side, we have depth, we've got clarity, we've got deep satisfaction, we've got a willingness to be in expression, right? To those things that bring us closer to that feeling of home. You get to choose, right, which fork you're taking every single day. And yes, I see you. And as that moon moves into Sagittarius overnight, you will be immersed in that energy one way or the other. On Friday, the 30th. Okay. All right, Friday. Whew day, right? So we've got a Sagittarius moon. We have a sextile to Venus, a trine to Jupiter, and a sextile to the sun. So this is a day where we kind of come up for air. Mercury is also opposed to Neptune, right? So this is ideas of clarity. Not quite ready for airing, not quite ready for prime time, but available, right? So we're going to sift and we're going to sort. We're going to work through our visions. We're going to really check our trajectories and see if yes, where does that go? Yes, where does that go? Yes, where does that go? You're checking, right? You're future pacing your timelines is what you're really doing. So the values work that you have been doing, right? We say that with a wink and a nod. The values work that we have all been doing should kind of give you a framework for those yeses or nos in terms of this idea, yes, this idea, no, right? So remember that Venus is all about, Venus is all about connection, pleasure, enjoyment, deep emotional satisfaction, closeness, things like that, relationships, right? It's about balance in relationships and love, that sense of home, right? We're always defaulting to that sense of home and remembering, right, with this Jupiter trine on Friday, that you are the amplifier. Right? So make sure that you are on point. Make sure that you are on mission. Make sure that you are on task. It's important. Saturday, the 1st of October. Woo, y'all. We have this beautiful Sagittarius moon, right? All about immersion. All about, I got to feel my feelings. I got to be in it. I got to be up to my elbows in it, right? That's fine. That's a beautiful place to be. Experience. I must experience it. It must be real for me. So we have that beautiful moon trining Chiron, quincunxing Uranus, sextiling Saturn, and then that moon opposes Mars. Venus opposes Jupiter, and then the moon squares both Neptune and Mercury, giving us the beautiful giant grand cross. Okay, so what do we know? In Eileen land, oppositions are opportunities, right? And squares are a way where we can harness a great deal of power if we are willing to look at both sides of a square. So we've got the moon and Mars in opposition. We've got Neptune and Mercury in opposition. So we have then 4 squares, right? So here's the deal. When we're confronted with this square energy, the key is to witness it all, right? Don't slam on the brakes. Don't floor it. Stay in your lane. Stay on cruise control. If you can, enjoy the scenery, right? Be in your journey. Be mindful of the road. And here's the key to this day. Pay attention to what you see along the way, to what you're witnessing today, because there is a very strong, I laugh, a very strong likelihood that what you witness today can change the course of your life. Why do I say that? Because everything that you see changes the course of your life, but you're going to The energy is such that this is something critical. This is something big. You may experience it in a different way. It might not be huge for you. But if you pay attention to what you see and witness, things can change the course of your life today. I say that because on Sunday, October the 2nd, overnight, the moon moves into Capricorn and Mercury goes direct. Now, before you start to cheer, just keep listening. That Capricorn moon squares Jupiter, squares Venus, squares the sun. That gives us 2 T-squares, Mercury, Neptune, and Mars, and Jupiter, Venus, and the moon. So Mercury goes direct, but we're going to use some caution, right, in expressing those things that we witnessed yesterday. Remember, I told you, hey, there'll be scenery, things to witness along the way, right, on Saturday. That's true. That's true. And on Sunday, quite often we're called to express a thing, right? And as we feel the need to express, this is a day to use some caution, right? How you move forward is not as clear as you believe on Sunday. And that way could engulf you, right? Like a wildfire. It could take on a life of its own, something that is beyond the conscious levels of your control. So be mindful in how you express today the things that have gone on all week. On Sunday, be mindful, right? Be mindful. Mercury is not the end of retrograde, right? It's Mercury direct, right? This is not the end of this retrograde at all. So breathe and breathe and breathe. Who you become as a result of this week depends on how closely you can relate and regulate your response in the now. Okay. Again, and I also do want to say overarchingly this week, we still have that energy that is all about reevaluating our values, right? How we evaluate, how we choose to lean in. So the keys this week, in my humble opinion, are clarity, right? Clarity in word and deed. Clarity, check, check, triple check. Clarity in word and deed. Okay, Monday. We have got the Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Look at this, right? We say, oh my goodness, this is going to be all about relationships. This is going to be all about emotions, how we feel. How do we speak about our deepest needs? What is holding us back? What is separating us from our heart's desires, right? We've got the Page of Cups. We've got the Ace of Cups. Page of Cups is all about here. How may I love you? How may I witness this full cup, right? This is dreamy energy. This is romantic energy. This is lover energy. So we're all about love with this Ace of Cups. This is about here. Guess what? May I hand you a new way to witness something in your life, right? May I hand you a new way to feel about a thing. May I allow you to discover something brand new in your emotional repertoire. Again, we talked about your innermost desires are so plain and so apparent, right? Are you grounded in that why? Or are you standing somewhere else, hovering in your pretext, right? And if you have the courage to connect, look at these cards. This is all about connection. You might surprise yourself. Well, do it if you dare, right? On Tuesday, we've got the Ace of Wands. We have got the Ten of Cups. These are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous cards. We talked about this as a day to tap the brakes and be in that assessment mode. Check, check, triple check, right? Seeking not being a way of life, but being open, right? Being open to pivot in light of new discoveries. Always beautiful. So we got the Ace of Wands, which is all about inspiration, passion, right? This is motivation. This is what gets you up out of bed. This is the juice of your life, right? This is the fire energy of your life. Ten of Cups is, this is what I've created. This is overarching emotional happiness shared, right? This is not the Nine of Cups where it's you, like I am super happy because I'm in my own emotional fulfillment. This is, I understand how I live in community, emotionally fulfilled. I understand how I live in relationship, emotionally fulfilled, right? So this is about new ideas in terms of where you do your work, where you find your answers. This is about understanding that the way is clear, right? But we're going to tap the brakes. We're going to look around. We're going to say, is this the right answer? So we're just doing the check, triple check. We're just going to make sure that the trajectory is on point, that this is our goal. We know this is our goal, and we've got plenty of fuel to get us there. We just have to know that we're moving in the right direction. On Wednesday, we've got the King of Pentacles, the Hanged Man. So King of Pentacles, this is about mastery in your resources. Again, we know resources are about tangible or intangible, right? It's your worth, your value, what you value, and what you believe has value, right? This is a big deal. The Hanged Man is all about divine awareness, right? This is about suspending judgment. This is about allowing for our awareness to come from that higher place. This is about understanding that sometimes we will hear exactly what we need to hear in order to allow us to step into that fullness of resource. We also have that great Jupiter action today. Really allowing us to be in that depth, right? This is the day we have scuba capabilities. We're going to get really crystal clear on our why, on the vision of the objects of our heart's desires. And then with that beautiful Mars trining Saturn, how do we manifest them? We know, but this is all about making that plan, getting right with it all. God, that's gorgeous, just gorgeous. On Thursday, we have, wow, y'all, the Two of Swords and the Three of Swords. So this is about choices and heartbreak. This is about, again, we talked about this, right? Oh, wow. We talked about this as being that what the fuck moment. Wow, y'all, that is an amazing little pull for that day. So this brings the ability to witness, oh, what have I done? Where have I gone? Have I gone the correct way? Have I gone a different way? On one side, we have pretense, habit. On the other side, we have depth, clarity, and satisfaction. We have that deep heart happiness, that sense of home, or we have something other, right? So wherever you are in loss, betrayal, sadness, right? Choose the opposite if that's the case. If what you have chosen isn't bringing you satisfaction, if what you've chosen isn't bringing you deep, deep joy, if it's not bringing you into connection, if it's not bringing your heart happiness, if it's not lighting up your heart's deepest desires, right? Make a different choice. You get to choose. You get to choose. I would like to say, let's just check out our single sword and our Queen of Pentacles here. So we're witnessing this beautiful divine pairing, right? Because on Friday, we have that come up for air day. Come up for air, right? Swords are air. So the Sagittarius Moon touches both Venus and the Sun, and then trines Jupiter. So our ideas of clarity are ready, but not quite ready for prime time, right? So we know, we understand how we're resourced. We get to witness it, right? We get that values work made us a framework, right? We have a structure. We've got our yeses, we've got our nos. And the Queen of Pentacles, she knows, right? She is fully embodied in her resourceness. She understands what she has. She understands whether it's required. She understands how she's going to put it into use. So that yes and no, those columns are right here, right? This is our new ideas. This is about connection, pleasure, enjoyment, emotional satisfaction, closeness, balance in your relationships. This is the default to the sense of home. And again, you are the amplifier. That's a novel idea for some people. You are the amplifier. How are you amplifying that, right? How are you amplifying that? How are you choosing to amplify that? That's a great question, because you've got a lot of big energy available. So what you doing with it, right? Good question. Look, we've got big cups again. We've got the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups. So the Knight is how you move forward with that love, right? And the King is how you have mastered your own emotional fulfillment. So this is the day of that Grand Cross. We said, don't slam on the brakes and don't floor it. Stay in your lane and pay attention, right? The Knight of Cups, boy, this is about going right in line with following your heart. The King of Cups says, wait, let's pull up on that. Hold on, let's pay attention. Let's use my emotional intelligence. Instead of just racing off forward, right? I understand you've got those roses. I understand you want to ride in there like a knight on a white horse, but this is all about your cup, right? Pay attention. Pay attention to what you see and witness as you're riding along. And again, we talked about this as that day where pay attention to what you're seeing, because it could change the course of where you're headed. Sunday, the 2nd, we talked about those 2 big giant T-squares. We talked about Mercury going direct and using caution in expressing what you witnessed yesterday, knowing that how you move forward might not be as clear as you believe, and that it could engulf you, right? So we've got the Lovers. This is divine union. This is all this cup energy, all this love energy here. Bringing into this divine union. The Lovers is also a card of choice, right? So we're echoing right back up to this choice here, where you made that choice, where you chose pretense, habit, something that wasn't quite fulfilling, but maybe looked great, or something that was deeper, more clear, something that was deeply satisfying, something that resonated in your soul, but perhaps didn't look as good, but felt thousands of times better, right? So this is that choice. This brings you right back to that choice. And then we've got the 5 of Pentacles. So here's the deal. This is about how you feel about that choice. This is reminding you, you had 2 options. Which did you choose? Did you choose the Lovers? Did you choose 5 of Pentacles? This retrograde is not over. Keep breathing, right? And know that who you become as a result of this week depends completely on how you regulate your responses now. If you want to choose to see it as my choice put me out in the cold, my choice brought me heartache, that's one thing. But if you want to see it as my choice is something that can be shifted and changed, my choice is something that I can realign and step into my own values with, right? Because you have all that power. You have this invitation everywhere. Where is your heart? Where's your heart? You got the 10 of Cups. We've got the Lovers. We've got the Ace of Cups. We have cups everywhere. How are you in your own way, right? How are you in your own way? And guess what? You've got the solution. You've got the solution. So again, how you evaluate and how you lean in, completely up to you. I don't even need to explain this one, do I? I don't think I do. So let's have this conversation. I think we had this last week, didn't we? I think so. Perhaps the week before. We're going to have a conversation about it now. So let's read this, shall we please? Death moves amongst us. With the full expression of this life comes the knowledge that death walks among us. Within every breath and every step dwells the mortality so many fear. Do not deny this ending. Honor those who have left this life with ceremony, with ritual, with respect. Acknowledge that they are no longer here in the same way. for there will be many deaths in your life. Learn to live with this truth so that death is not a fearful enemy, but a gateway to another life. You have been so many forms. Before we can become again, we must pass through death's gateway and let our souls wander free for a time. Then we can wisely choose what comes next on the path of the soul. So, if you are a local friend, we already understand what this tells us. If you're not a local friend, our local community lost someone this week. And we are feeling it. But again, we get to evaluate how we're going to lean in, right? We get to choose clarity in our words and our deeds. We get to choose love and know that love wins, right? So, big blessings. Reach high. Be blessed.